dismissed every accomplishment I've made. You've talked about my father. Well, you call me an entitled millennial, I call you a carny succubus, because the dirty secret about you, the dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs
What up,
you.
y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for our Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about Dynamite, August 27th, 2025, in Philly at the 2300 Arena, because we're extreme and we're sickos. Taz and Excalibur on commentary. It started off with the FTR, and I was like, all right, then let's get Cope out here, let's get Christian, let's get the match. And then I was like, what's the next pay-per-view? All Out. Where are they at? In Toronto. I wonder if their match is going to happen there. There was shut the F up chants for FTR. And when after they were about to hurt the ref, Cope comes out, then Christian takes out Stokely, then confirms it at All Out. These two are going to finally face each other. Christian has some special things to say to the fathers of the FTR. And he's like, that bitch is dead. I was like, and I like, my favorite part is like when Cope took the mic, he's like, no, I'm not going to do that, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, you know what? These guys are sickos here in AEW. There you go. Let Christian do his thing. But there you go. We finally got it. Now everyone can calm down. We finally got FTR versus Cope and Christian. So, what does it could say? CNC? Cope and Christian? Yeah. But yeah, there you go. I don't know. What else you want from me? Darby promo. He's got the blood and All Out. He's challenging John Moxley. He says, I will take you down. Look at all the blood. I'm such an artiste. And I know in every promo, I feel going forward with Darby, he's going to freaking mention Mount Everest, which I'm not saying he shouldn't, but I just feel like every promo is, and now that I was on Mount Everest 20 years down the road, and Moxie, when I was on Mount Everest, I was like, okay, you clown Mount Everest. Awesome. It's going to happen in every promo. Just saying. Speaking of Mox, we got Mox versus Daniel Garcia, and an awesome match, man. I really enjoyed this. Two battling and kind of ended up in a roll up, and Daniel Garcia was upset with himself, and Mox is like, "You are this close. It is close, not that close, but it is close." And he cuts a promo after. Well, kind of. He gives it to Yuta, and Yuta's like, "Moxley's not gonna waste his breath." He says no, and I was like, okay. Then Mox and Daniel are having something outside. Daddy's there as well, you know. And then we come back, and Yuta again. I was like, oh, God, long-haired bitch. He's going on, and then out of nowhere, he lights out the Hook signal, and I was like, what the hell is this entrance music? I'm not, like I said, I'm not hating on Hook. I'm just not a big Hook guy. But my favorite part about this is his coming out. He takes out Yuta. Then they're like, Hook's back. And as soon as they say Hook's back, merch drop. All right. Like as soon as, like, I think it was Excalibur, he's like, that gold-hearted, handsome devil is back. And as soon as that word back came, it's just like, boom, there's his shirt. Orange with the H on it. Hook. Dun, dun, dun. I found that silly. MJF promo from Forbidden Door afterwards, you know. I guess now the contract, as told to him by Tony Khan, he cannot cash it anytime he wants now. Now you need to give notice. Well, did they change that verbiage in the contract? Because it is a contract that MJF did sign prior to Tony Khan changing this thing. Did he write a new contract and tell MJF? I don't know. MJF should get a lawyer. I'm no lawyer, but MJF should get one. But he cuts a really great promo, man. I really enjoy MJF all day, every day, especially when he's angry. When he's angry, MJF. And he calls out Mark Briscoe, and he says, I should have set your ass on fire. I was like, damn. But he told Hangman, don't worry. I'm going to get my title. I'm going to make sure this thing gets cashed out. But first, I need to take care of my Mark Briscoe problem. So I was like, all right, Let's go, MJF. Second match tonight, Bane, Penelope versus Chris and Harley. It was okay. Chris and Harley got the win. Of course, attack after. Willow comes out, and I'm just like, either you're friends or you're not friends anymore, Chris and Willow. But Harley was like, I'm Peacemaker. I'm just like, yeah. You want to speak about this really wasted space here? Mercedes Moné with Renee. You know, she's talk about Alex Windsor and everything like that. I don't know. Move on. Move along. Mark promo. He's had a baby. Another baby. Oh, look at the baby. I really wanted him to cut the promo with the baby. But I know he likes to move around. So that's not good for the baby. He says, yeah. And lots of mentioning. Like, what's funny is, like, I was like, he's like, I am talking to MJF. I'm going to light your ass on fire. I'm going to sit there, you know. And all of a sudden he goes, and Kyle Fletcher, I want to challenge you for your championship. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, this beef is between you and MJF, and like he went from like and then he's like, and Kyle Fletcher, and I was like, oh, okay, we'll come back, we'll circle back around. Brodito and Jet Speed versus the Don Callis family in this awesome 8-man tag match. Don comes out to interrupt the ref to be like, hey, I will introduce my family because you suck. Okay, not the ref, the announcer. And he brings everybody out. Wardlow is a part of the family, which I'm like, ugh. But this is awesome 8 tag team match. Of course, after Don Callis get the win, Don's on commentary the whole time. You know, after the win, I was like, all right, that's it. That's the last we're gonna see of these silly Don Callis family. No. Hangman comes out, cuts a promo. He says, MJF, I'll be waiting for you, and I'll whoop that ass before the ink can dry on that contract. I was like, he already signed the contract. Did he? I don't know. The Don Callis family come back out again. And Don says, that title's going to come back to the fam. And Hangman's like, yeah. And the Don Callis family comes out, and they attack, and then Jet Speed's still out there, then Kenny Omega comes out, and looking like a young Triple H buff, you know. It's funny, it's like I just saw him at Forbidden Door, and now we're seeing him here. So, big fight. Hangman, it was like my favorite part about this is after they run off the Don Callis family, I think it was Lance Archer that Hangman was going to do his finish, and then V-Trick, I don't know. Kenny just kind of lifts his knee up and puts it in his back, and it's like, ha! It's pretty silly. But Kenny and Hangman show some love for each other, and it was pretty awesome. Tony and Mina, we're now building to Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor. It is time. But Tony and Mina, I love these two. The promo cut, we're cutting back and forth, was kind of weird because they like had like a snippet clip of Athena, then it was still on Mina and Tony. Then they went to Athena. So Mina's going to face Athena this Friday at Death Before Dishonor. We have an awesome trios match. The Ops versus Ricochet and his Gates of Agony. But MVP is the one that helps the Ops because Ricochet and Gates of Agony needed some payback. Ops get the win, and then Ricochet and Gates of Agony. It was funny. My favorite part about this is they have Ricochet up. Then the Hurt Syndicate's music hits. If the Ricochet like just falls, and then they go Gates of Agony and the Hurt Syndicate, they fight. And we're like, we hurt people. And we get right into our main event, Darby Allin versus Claudio. This was crazy off the bat. Started from the back. Freaking Darby went into some chairs. We broke a TV. Yeah, we broke a TV. I mean, and then there was this crazy spot, which we saw earlier this week on NXT. Not NXT, on Heatwave, where Claudio just picked up Darby's ass and was like, wee! And Darby went right into the announcer's table. Boom! But Darby, you can't keep him down. He is a menace to society. But he beats Claudio, which I was like, okay, golf clap. And then Gabe Kidd. You could probably guess who else came out. The Mox Cult. Oh, and a big old thing. Darby finally got away. Gabe was really upset. He was really upset at himself. He let Darby get away. He's like, ah! He's like screaming at the wall. And I feel like there's a moment where he like says something to Moxley. Moxley's like, dude, calm down. But that's the way we end the show in Chaos, AEW Dynamite in Philly. At the this is going to be the residence. The 2300 arena is going to be where we're going to be for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, I like this arena. Like, I really like I love the entrance. Like I said, I love the smaller arenas for AEW. I really, really do. So, but that's it. That's all. My match of the night is Darby versus Claudio because they just beat the shit out of each other. I mean, moment of the night has to be between Cope and Christian. As much as I don't really care for the reunion, I just love that. He's like, and your father, that bitch is dead. I was like, God damn. A solid 4 out of 5 for AEW Dynamite, August 27, 2005. Taz, Ian, Excalibur on commentary, and that's it. That's all. All Out Toronto's next, September 20th. Drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit the subscribe. Share it with your grandma, share it with your grandpa. Share it with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja, and remember that the New World Podcast is for life.